Have you ever considered getting a tattoo or piercing? Today we're going to learn some history and pros and cons of tattooing and piercing. I have done my own research on whether or not I should get the tattoos and piercings that I have. So in this, by the end of this speech, you're going to decide whether or not you want tattoos and piercings. The three main topics that we're going to learn about are the histories, the pros and cons of getting piercings and tattoos, and how piercings and tattoos are done today. How it all started. So 5,300 years ago, there was a mummy that scientists just found recently that have tattoos. So back then, body ornamentation was a big reason why people got tattoos, and which pretty much means that it was for visual aesthetics. This article that is called Ultimate Answers to Proximate Questions: The Evolutionary Motivation Behind Tattoos and Body Piercings in Popular Culture. These authors' names are Rachel A. Carmen, Amanda E. Guitar, and Haley M. Dillon. It was made in 2012. By ornamenting one's body, either temporarily, for example your clothing, permanently, tattoos, or somewhere in between, which would be like piercings, the individual is using an extension of his or her genes to stand out in a sea of possible mates. A good example of this would be peacocks. So peacocks have like those super bright feathers. So a lot of males have really bright feathers that are either a little bit less bright or brighter than others. And so the brighter the feathers, the more attention that they would get from females. Back then they used to use the stick and poke method, which would be to get ink onto your needle and dip it in the ink, and then they would use something to hit the back of the needle and inject the ink into the skin. So next we're going to move on to some pros and cons, since we know some of the history of tattoos. So this article, called Tattoos: Understand the Risks and Precautions, is by the Mayo Clinic staff from March 2024. There's this quote that says, "The process of getting tattoo breaks the skin. Infections and other health problems can develop afterwards." Some examples of some health problems that could develop afterwards would be skin infections, which if you like rub dirt on a tattoo, or you go swimming that gets bacteria inside of your tattoo, or you just don't clean it enough. You can also have contaminated ink or contaminated equipment. You just want to make sure wherever you go is sanitary. You can also transfer diseases. Say if you get blood that's still dried up that's on the end of the needle and it gets inserted into your skin. A lot of tattoos can get pretty costly, and from piercing you can get a lot of scarring depending on where your piercings are at. Some pros would be a lot of people tend to gain more confidence from tattoos and piercings. I feel like you get a lot more attention, a lot more compliments. One thing could be there's a lot of meaning behind tattoos and a lot of memories that got brought up. It's a good conversation piece. You're also going to be wearing somebody's art on your body forever, and you just get to represent that person that did your art. Some things of how it is done today, from the article Body Piercings and Tattooing Perspectives, which is made in 2001. It was by Vaughn S. Milner, Bernard H. Echold II. The quote is, "Injection of pigment particles underneath the epidermis that remains in the dermis to create a decorative design," which is pretty much just explaining how tattoos are put into your skin. Nowadays they use like an electronic tattoo gun, and the needle goes in about a depth of 1 to 2 meters. For piercings, you have a hollow needle that gets put through whatever body part that you're piercing, and then after that they put the jewelry inside. Some common jewelry that they use for piercings would be barbells, studs, rings. Some common piercing spots would be your earlobe, your nose, your lip, your eyebrow. So during this speech, we explained the pros and cons of getting body tattoos and piercings. Some main points would be the history, pros and cons, and how tattoos are done today. I hope this made you realize the best decision for you and your own body on whether or not you should get tattoos.